7 o'clock. I'd like to bring our meeting to order. And we do have a quorum. There's a lot of new faces. I know present right now is myself, Tom, and then we have Tracy, Wendy, and Bob Ferguson. Missing tonight is Greg Fox will not be here, and Steve Babin will not be here either. So we do have some new board members. I'd like you guys just to introduce yourselves. Just to me and Tom, so we know who you are, and maybe just a little bit about yourself. Go ahead.
Bob Ferguson, been Trophy Club resident 8 years. Came from California. Don't hold that against me. But yeah, I'm just excited to be here. This is my third attempt to be on the Parks and Rec. Finally made it, so I'm very excited. And no agenda, just looking to improve the lives of people in Trophy Club.
Hi, my name is Tom Bath. I've been a Trophy Club resident for almost 40 years. I've seen things. I worked for a long time in the information technology industry, both in sales leadership and senior executive leadership. A few years ago, I retired from that, and I'm now in the recruiting business for a subsection of that industry that I know so well. I've been on the board now for about a year. I think it was, all I remember is the first board meeting I had was kind of warm and hot like this one, so I think it's been about a year. Look forward to working with y'all.
And I'm Dean Murray. I've been in Trophy Club since 2007, and I've been on park board for like almost forever, a long time. But I like living in Trophy. I love this place, and I think I like to give. And this is a great place to give from, so that's why.
My name's Wendy Bailey. I've lived here since 2005. Have been a PTA mom for like 20 years or something ridiculous, and I'm aging out soon, so I decided to find another place to get plugged in so I can give back to our communities. This position arose, so I jumped on it.
I'm Tracy Hunter. I've been a resident of Trophy Club for 27 years. I've had involvement years ago when I was on PTA at Lakeview, partnering with the town and Parks and Rec, as well as many other capacities, volunteering within the school district. And my kids are grown. I do have grandchildren, and I wanted to bring back some fun to Parks and Rec and serve our community in a great way.
All right, so I felt like we needed to say that since we're all new. I would like to just recognize our outgoing board members just for memorialization, and that's Tiffany Nymphius, Mindy Bone, and David Stout. We appreciate all their hard, everything they did for us, and we have some new faces, so that's exciting. Before we get to citizen presentation and all that, I thought it was real important that I think that I'd like to state why we're here and why the park board exists. It was created for the purpose of advising the town council and the parks director. It's not a governing body, it's an advisory body. And I think sometimes we lose sight of that. We're just here to help and give our input for certain things that are going on. If I went to the website, I kind of looked to see what the website said about it, and specifically says that we're to recommend the adoption of additional park rules to council as necessary, advise and recommend the development of long-range capital improvement programs. We're at advisory capacity to Parks and Recreation Director, Tony Aramillo, right there. We're required to make annual reports to town council, cooperate with other governmental agencies, civic organizations, and all the citizens in the town of Trophy Club. Recommend to town council amendments to the park and recreation ordinances. Review and recommend proposed budget for the parks and recreation department, and study and advise development of all recreational areas. So you can see all those things are advisory things. What we don't do is involve ourselves with daily operations of Parks and Rec Department. We're operational body that's left to the Director of Parks and Recreation. We don't enforce park and rec policies or procedures, and we don't make decisions for the town of Trophy Club when it comes to capital expenditure changes and policies. We recommend what we think, and the council makes those changes, and that's what we do. And I know it sounds pretty, everybody would get that, but I don't know that that's necessary. Everybody understands that, because you're going to be approached by citizens to do things for them. And there's not a lot we can do. We can bring it to the Parks Board, we can talk about it, we can recommend to council, but we can't necessarily act on things that we hear. And you'll find out that once you're on Parks Board, you're going to make a whole bunch of new friends. He's got some kind of agenda that's going to approach you, and he's got to make sure you understand. And that being said, our Director of Parks is Tony Armillo, as I mentioned, and I'd like him just to quickly introduce his team, because he's got some new people as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean. I appreciate it. Good evening, board members. Just to echo a little bit of what Dean said and Wendy, I've been here since 2005, and just like you guys all, I completely love Trophy Club, and I enjoy every aspect of it. And so we come up with different ideas every year, every moment, every hour, every minute. We try to implement what is best for the town, and that's what our job is what to look after. Safety is number one, and of course what's best for the town, Trophy Club, and our citizens. So with that said, I'd like to introduce you to Sumner Hay. He's our Recreation Superintendent. He comes from the City of McKinney Parks and Recreation Department. I believe he was there for about 5 years. Sumner is married to Channing, and his beautiful little girl Harper of 2 years old as well. So we welcome Sumner, and he's been with us for approximately 4 months now, and he's been doing a fantastic job, and can't wait to explore more ideas for the town this coming year. So, and next to him, to his right, is Mr. Romero Ramirez. Romero has been with us for approximately 4 weeks. He's the park superintendent for the town of Trophy Club. He comes from the city of Justin, which he worked in for about 7 years as the public works superintendent. His wife Areli has been married they've been married for about approximately 4 years, and they have a beautiful little daughter, Eliana, of 2 years old. And he likes spending time with his family. This is his favorite hobby. So we're very lucky to have both these gentlemen. Strongly believe that we have a strong A team occurring here, and we have even a newer member coming on board October 4th, which would be the aquatics and recreation specialist. So she'll be at the next park board meeting attending that, so I can introduce you to her. Of course. You have Mr. Wade Carroll, our town manager. I'm sure you guys all have been introduced to him, so you guys know him as well. And then Letty Wachek. That's the correct way. She doesn't want me to pronounce it that way, I think. But
it's
Wachek, see? And she's our town secretary and does a fantastic job with this. As you guys witnessed the oath, right? So.
And there's another oath.
Oh, there's one more oath. So she'll be completing that here in approximately a few minutes. So. And that's pretty much it. Of course, you guys know our public over here behind us. So we're here for you guys as well. To echo what you said, please feel free to contact us. And if you have any questions, concerns, comments, you all have my email. We're here to serve you and do what's best for the town Trophy Club. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. So I've been living here long enough and involved with this long enough to know that we have a great parks department, and we have a great council, and they work really well together. I don't think I've always seen that over the years, and I know because there's not a whole audience full of angry citizens right now. And Greg, we've seen that a time or two, haven't we? So yes, things are going really well in Trophy Club, and I just know it gets better and better. And there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that every citizen doesn't even understand what we do for the town and all the things that go on behind it. I wish we could look at it their day one time just to see what goes on in a day of life in Trophy Club. So I appreciate all of what you guys do, and I was saying we can do to support you while we're here.
Thank you.
Okay, so that all being said, I think it's time, don't we have any public comments, correct? None?
No, sir.
Nothing? We're all, we're preaching to the choir tonight. All right, then let's just get right to the regular session. And we need to, do you want to do your thing first?
Sure, that way everyone can partake.
That'd be great.
Okay, I'm going to ask the newly appointed members to stand and raise your right hand and repeat after me. And I'll get you to sign your paperwork afterward. I state your name,
I,
Tracy
Hunter,
Hunter,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of
Of the
office
office of
of
Parks and Recreation Board member
Parks and Recreation Board member
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve,
preserve,
protect, and defend
the Constitution
the
Constitution
Constitution
and laws
and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and
and
of the state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lenny.
Thank you.
Every park board meeting, you'll see an agenda packet. Tony will have these for us. And what it is, it's last meeting minutes. You also get this sent to you, but it'll be a copy of last meeting's minutes. And then sometimes we'll have things that we're going to be talking about for presentations. That'll be here as well. So this is sent to you well ahead of the meeting, and you should take time to look at the minutes and review it for mistakes. Sometimes we'd like to get this as accurate as possible for memorialization. And we'll need a vote on this here in a second, but I'll let Lenny do her thing. One thing you notice, we had 2 board members missing tonight, and it's real important that everybody understands that if we don't have a quorum, we can't have a meeting. And if you can't be here, things happen, life gets in the way. I mean, we're all volunteers, right? The sooner I know and Tony knows, because if we're not going to have a quorum, well, we're volunteers, the staff isn't, and we got to pay them to come in here and be here, whether we have a meeting or not. And I think the town manager probably appreciate that we're not going to have a meeting that everybody stays off the clock. So please, the sooner you know you can't make it, the better. And then we'll work through it. We'll reschedule a new meeting where we got to do if we can't have a quorum. So ladies get that?
Yes.
They're listening. They're multitasking.
All right, I just want to make sure we know, because I've been here a time or two in the last 10 years, and we're all, 3 of us are staring at each other, and we got a whole room full of employees. Because they all make it, right, Tony? Your people are here. All right, so I need a motion to approve the minutes in the last meeting. It probably should be you.
Yeah, because I was the only one here. We got a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, so there's a motion by Tom and approved, and seconded by Tracy. We have all in favor? Raise your hand.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's it. All right, now we want to discuss and provide updates regarding park projects. That's Tony's.
Good evening again, board members. So for today's update on the park side, I thought it would be a good idea. We presented this to council some weeks ago and thought I'd share it with you all as well with Utility. This is our citizen survey that was performed between April and May of 2021. I'm not going to go through every single slide, there's quite a bit in there, but I really wanted to touch on the high points for the Parks and Recreation Department, and of course address any questions that you may have after the presentation. This just identifies the map of the participants for the citizen survey and Trophy Club, obviously.
Trophy, there was about 800 respondents, am I correct?
Yeah, I think I read that.
Do you remember? About 800. Right.
2014.
Possibly a little bit more.
2014
is what
survey.
I want to say.
I guess you missed all the dog owners, because I know more than 46% used the Freedom Dog Park.
One of the first pages that I wanted to point out here is the facilities that are widely used here in Trophy Club. And as you can see, the majority of them are Parks and Recreation related, with Harmony Park being at the top at 72%, Trophy Club Park 68%, Independence Park at 59%, and of course you got your sports and fields and your facilities. Trophy Club Pool, that's about 52%, Freedom Dog Park, and so on, as you can see. One of the things that we've been talking with staff is improving a little bit on the adult rec leagues, see what we can implement next year, or maybe a little bit closer. See what we can implement as far as adult leagues other than kickball and bocce ball. Something new that we did implement this year and was a success was water aerobics at the pool. So that was an every Saturday morning program, and so we're going to continue to implement that in next year's season as well. So we do have a close eye on that and coming up with some new fresh ideas. Same thing here, families are very likely to have used park and rec facilities. As you can see, again, Harmony Park's one of our, if not the most popular park in Trophy Club with 90%. Trophy Club Park following Harmony, Independence Park, and then of course our sports fields and facilities again, followed by our Trophy Club Pool and so on. And again, we'll be touching base on the Adult Rec League and implementing some smaller programs and events.
Oh, no, you gotta go back to that one.
Sure. Absolutely, I agree.
You gotta like that stuff.
No, that's a great one, that's a good one. The community feels extremely positive about the direction of Trophy Club, and as you can see, 95% has voted that we're going in the right direction.
It hasn't good. No way. Must be you, right? That's a nice slide, I like that.
That is a
That's
very
why
good
this
slide.
room isn't full of people right now.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. So yeah, we're definitely going in the right direction, and there's just a little teeny room for improvement there, but we'll do what we can.
Somebody's always got to complain.
Yeah, that 1%, I like that.
Okay. A large majority of respondents indicated their sense of community in Trophy Club is strong. As you can see, 84% agree with that statement, and we believe we're also going towards the right direction. So on this one, all Trophy Club services receive a net satisfied rating of respondents. You can see our parks, playgrounds, and recreation areas maintenance is at about 59%, and our sports facilities is at about 56%. So I don't know if you guys have visited Independence Park East and West. If you ever have a few minutes to go down there, our team does a fantastic job with those fields out there, keeping them immaculate. We receive phone calls constantly from third-party organizations and tournaments organizations wanting to use our facilities for that reason. So we're extremely proud of our crew. Romero and his team have done a fantastic job, and our athletic crew, just so you know, that's a crew of 2. That's it. And that's what those guys are out there every day working really hard, and I'm very proud of their work. So it definitely shows. Okay, on this one, so for certain items like community engagement and promoting public safety campaigns, one of the things that I wanted to touch on this that you may see there towards the bottom, and I wanted to provide this as an update as well for you, creating dedicated pickleball courts. As you can see, we have 5% highly priority and at 15% somewhat. I wanted to clarify and let you guys know the reason that the pickleball courts installation project was put on hold was because Medlin or NISD is installing 2 tennis courts over at Medlin Middle School by the end of next summer. So what I wanted to do is wait until those courts are installed to see what that would do to help alleviate the traffic at the pickleball courts and tennis courts at West. Once those are installed, we'll make an assessment and continue with our project and see how many pickleball courts, if any, will be installed, and go that route. So that's the reason that that project was put on hold. It's not dead or anything. Hasn't been canceled or we're done with that project. We're just putting it on hold until those tennis courts are installed already.
Tony, has a
tennis court.
consultant study around, they're going to try and squeeze some number of courts under the prior initiative into the T-ball area over in India. And your consultant study, do we need more restrooms, a bigger pavilion? Has that consultant study been conducted and presented?
It has been conducted. It has been conducted. The study was conducted prior to the knowledge of the tennis courts knowing the knowledge of the tennis courts being installed in Medlin.
Any highlights of that recommendation? Did it work for the facility? What's the location?
Not after seeing this survey, no. I did present this survey to our consultant as well, and yeah, he agreed that we're at very high level of the pickleball installation courts. So after seeing this study and learning about the Medlin Middle School tennis courts, that's why we put the project on hold.
The existing courts, are those, do they belong to the city or do they belong to the school?
The West courts, they belong to the town, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And there are blended lines at West, and there are blended lines at Harmony Park for both sports as well.
I just wanted to make sure we were going to get some pushback from the district, as we do sometimes.
Right. No, they're willing to cooperate, and one thing I failed to mention, the tennis courts that they build are going to be open to the public. So. Again, as you can see, the bottom left square there are youth, adult, and senior programming, but we're on top of that. And that pretty much concludes this presentation and the citizen survey. I'm open to any questions if you guys have any.
Is that meant to be for you? Might be directed towards Wade there. Traffic popped to the top of the citizen concerns for that survey. I'm assuming that's school time, start and finish times right around the Trophy Wood and that whole school area. Did you peel the onion or find anything else behind those traffic concerns beyond that?
That was the majority of the concerns, and then some cut through traffic that we're seeing during first thing in the morning during commute times, right, and coming home.
That intersection 377 and 114 is a witch.
Well, and it's going to get worse, right?
Yep.
So that's what we're bearing for, and trying to develop some plans. Working with Chief Arata and his team right now, trying to figure out some ways that we can help mitigate some of that traffic a little bit. The bad news is there's only so much street. There's a lot of cars, right? So there's not a whole lot that we can do, but we're going to do our best to get some officers out there, maybe alleviate some of the traffic by holding up the right amount of cars and letting the right amount of cars go through, and just with some basic traffic control. We've also looked into the renting of some portable lights that you could put up, so it would be like stoplights, basically, that you use for construction projects. You've probably seen them if you've driven around and where they're installing a bridge and they have to cut the entire highway down to one lane. So we can install some things like that. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, we did a traffic study a couple years ago looking at installing permanent lights there in that area, but the traffic times are just those few hours first thing in the morning and in the evening, and it's about a $350,000 expense to put those traffic lights in. So it's a pretty hefty project. We also looked at a roundabout, a possible second roundabout, which would probably be the best for alleviating the traffic, but there's not enough property there, so we would have to buy some property from the school district or see if we could attain some from the church there at the corner of Bobcat and yeah.
Okay, so years ago, when our boys were in junior high, they had the junior high starting real late, like 9:30, and the high school started at 8:30. While that was ridiculous, is there a way that we could appeal to the district by making a wider spread between start times between middle and
That is the one thing that would help us out the most in Trophy Club.
Sure.
And I've got a meeting scheduled with Dr. Warren to talk about that in the next couple of weeks. The hard part that I have currently is that Trophy Club is probably their densest community. So we're the first to have that need. But what I plan to present to him is that, he is buying little 50-acre tracts, and you're seeing a high school, middle school, and elementary school going on those tracks in all these different cities around us. So eventually, as the growth continues out this way, they're going to have that same problem everywhere.
Eaton's already got it.
Yeah.
So if we can team up with them,
Yeah.
I'm sure we could make a push
Right.
for that, because even 30 minutes or 45 minutes
that would be
between this, yeah.
In talking to
start
Chief
time.
Arata, if I can just get a 20-minute addition to the separation that there's now, we would probably eliminate 60-70% of the traffic flow. So that's something that we're working on. It's not really parks related, but we're definitely, we've stolen the show here. But that's definitely something that we're working towards, is working with the district, and any, I hate to say it, any pressure from the bottom, from grassroots through the district would help us quite a bit on that.
They're every board meeting, so.
I do think it's interesting. I like this particular one here.
Can we go back to that one?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at EMS, police, and
Basic services seem,
Parks and Rec were up there as well, right? Speed,
Yeah.
sports and field maintenance. I mean, all that's on the good side, right?
Absolutely.
And then you look to what the bad thing is, and it's the traffic, right? So you can see where the button is these days. They like to live here, they just don't like all other people come. I think the new highway fixes all that. And weirdly, that traffic at the high school keeps a lot of people from cutting through because they know what they're going to get into, right?
Yeah.
I think it was really easy to get through. We just see more cars coming through going to Argyle, right? So kind of catch-22.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
All right, thank you. One of the things I wanted to mention before I concluded is actually during the pandemic, when it fully was in gear last year, our parks were completely overwhelmed with Trophy Club citizens. I wanted you guys to know about that. And you may know that already, right? So one of the parks that was even more visited throughout that time was Trophy Club Park. Extremely popular during those months. And as you can see, upgrading Trophy Club Park included additional service like the boat ramp, safety lighting, and picnic tables and whatnot. So we have a fair amount of folks that are interested in that. So I wanted to let you know we did get awarded a grant just recently, 2 weeks ago, to be exact, to remove all the debris in the motocross area. So we're excited about that, and we'll be performing that project soon. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. That's pretty much all I have. You can address any questions you may have.
Well, I think that we haven't fully recovered from the flood, right, in the park 5 years ago. It was 2017. Seems like it hasn't been the same
That's
since
correct.
then, right? So
The
it's-
biggest challenge is all the driftwood that comes in from the lake and just settles once the water starts receding, and it's left behind, whether it's due to no manpower or just an overwhelming amount of wood that just gets left behind, in addition to all the debris. So when I learned about this grant, I immediately jumped on that and was awarded that grant just 2 weeks ago. So we'll be moving forward with that and getting all that debris out. And one of the things I wanted to introduce you to Patrick Shrine. He's been a wonderful volunteer for the park as well, and spends a lot of hours out there along with Lou Hawker and Tom Mills. I'm sure you guys know who those gentlemen are as well. So we're really appreciative of that as well. So
yeah.
any other questions?
Tony, will this be used to create a longer-term /strategic plan
Yes,
for the Parks Department? Because
absolutely.
doesn't seem to be one.
Absolutely, yes. We're currently working on a Parks and Recreation master plan, and we'll be presenting that to the council in the near future. And it'll be a strategic plan.
Be glad to provide some input on that
Okay,
and help.
absolutely, absolutely. Anything else?
Tony, what was the dollar amount of the grant that you received?
$65,000. So we'll be going out for an RFP on that project.
That's a lot of schmutz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're excited. Anything else? Good.
Okay, so, your update regarding parks projects, is that,
I think number 2 is next, the recreation.
Yes, so, got a couple updates from some of our events that I touched on our previous park board meeting. Mentioned we had a disc golf clinic coming up in August. We had 14 participants show up to that. Dynamic Disc came to support and do the clinic. We gave out some free discs there, and it was a really, really great turnout just to kind of give people a new sport to try out. So hope to partner with them again on some future things. Tony had mentioned our water aerobics program finished strong. Our last day we had 10 participants in each class. We had an 8 a.m. and a 9 a.m. class. Everybody's having a lot of fun. I heard that some of the participants are going to want to work with the instructor privately in their homes. So I think we kind of balance between backyards as it's still warm outside to continue up water aerobics. So that was great. Labor Day weekend, we had goat yoga. Well over 30 participants. Tony and myself were there, and we saw 4 different bachelorette parties show up to that as well. So it was kind of funny to see different
A
groups
lot of
go there.
cameras, a lot of iPhone cameras.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was just real funny to see these 4 different groups go in. We've got another goat yoga scheduled on November 20th. It'll probably be our last one of the year, then maybe a little bit too cold. Waiting for the spring. So our pool season, it ended strong Labor Day weekend. We decided to do something kind of on the fly and do some free root beer floats. Mr. Shrine's son actually helped to model my Facebook post for it to let everybody know to come by and get one. Our bocce ball league. Oh,
so I asked you a question about, you said the pool season's ended, correct?
yes, sir.
Were we up or down on revenues, what we thought we would do or not do?
Yeah, the pool's always down. You know, if we weren't up on revenues, it's typically
We talked about adjusting some fees.
some fees. Yes, that's still in the works. We're still planning on adjusting fees for residents next season.
But the attendance was down even though
That's correct. That's correct. We don't have those exact numbers right now, but we can bring it with this next park board meeting.
But you got a sense that attendance
Right.
was down.
Correct, yes.
We anticipated because of COVID and the pandemic continuing, especially with the kids and the fact that so many people have built out pools, we'd see that.
Well, we talked about a lot of possible contributors, right? It's just, I'd
Hawaiian
be curious to
Falls.
wrap all that up and
Okay.
see what it is.
Sure.
Next, right?
Helen Falls was the big killer of that.
What's that?
Helen Falls.
Well, I know, but one of our park board meetings, we discussed changing fees to create some behaviors, drive up attendance, whatever. And I guess we could probably talk about that at another meeting, but we probably should think about
Okay.
revisiting that again before next season.
Of course. Our bocce ball league started on Saturday. We got 15 registered participants, so we're full up and ready to go and excited about that. Our kickball league actually starts this Wednesday. We do our captain and co-captains meeting tomorrow evening, and we'll get them started and good to go for their 7-week series. October 2nd, you guys are all welcome to come out to Pet Fest. It's at Freedom Dog Park from 9 to 11 a.m. I've got 11 confirmed vendors on top of our animal control, the TC Women's Club, the Rotary Club, other people that are going to be there. It's going to be a good event. We'll have a little breakfast treat for you and hang out with your pet, do a lot of just fun things, spend time with other local pet owners. So then October is only 2 weeks away. So we've got our Fright Lights contest that we're gearing up for. So excited to see all the houses decorated and ready to go for that. And we'll be doing judging in October for that. We're going to be scheduling a cleanup day in Trophy Club Park. Tony and I are working with Mr. Shrine and some others to figure out some specific tasks and what we want to do. It's going to be set tentatively for November 6th for people to come out and help us out on that day. And then with this next fiscal year coming up, we're going to start planning a new special event. Not sure exactly when that's going to happen, but hope to have some more information by this next Parks Board meeting.
So you might have some success talking to those league managers or league leaders about that cleanup event.
Okay.
Help emphasize that, they can teach the kids it's not just about using, it's about giving back, and drive some responsibility to the leadership and character development that way. That might help turn out the attendance.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Also, get with the schools for the high school, or maybe even the junior high, to advertise the kids for service hours.
Yeah, get their green court hours in.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and there's a whole ag department, my daughter's in ag, the ag kids would go out there in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Because they have their own service, that they have, the officers have to do their own service.
My
Okay.
daughter was also in, okay, and, yeah,
Great.
that's why we're down here together.
Cool. Yeah, we're excited for it. Hopefully have a good turnout and get a lot of stuff done at the park. So that's all I've got.
Summer, I want to ask a question regarding this Saturday. What is it? I just lost it.
St. Craig Day?
No, the dog.
Oh, pet.
Oh, Pet Fest.
I'm so sorry. Have you thought of other ways of possibly making this more fun for community involvement? I'll give an example.
Let me see if it's the same. Sorry.
Maybe several different categories on, cutest pet,
Doggy beauty pageant.
doggy beauty pageant, something like that. And the first year we had Pet Fest, there was a contest and the calendar came out of it. And it was a lot of fun. It was a Facebook event where everyone was posting up their four-legged or their fur babies.
Mm-hmm.
And the community was voting on each category.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun, and it brought people together. So I don't know if that's, an idea you're looking at, thought of, or...
I know that's definitely a good idea. I'm always liking to take in information on these events just to keep bringing fun, engaging things for people. So I'm always open for new ideas.
Now, probably too late for this year,
Yeah.
but something that could start early
Yeah.
next year.
Kind of get people
Tony, did they only do that for 1 year?
They did, yeah.
That was the very first
Yeah.
year. Oh, I would love it if it came back. I would love to see it.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Everybody that lives here.
It was fun.
Oh, yeah. Everybody has a dog that lives here. I know.
That's right.
That's an ugly dog contest is more fun than good.
Include category for the cats too.
I have them out too.
Birds,
Birds.
ferrets,
How
chickens.
are you gonna keep them from barking?
They're in a cage. Thank you, Sumner.
Thank you.
All right, so we've already talked about projects and events. One thing that we need to get accomplished tonight is we need to appoint a vice chair of our board. And we also need to appoint a secretary. So if someone wants to raise their hand, I'll start with the vice chair. You're interested, Tom? And anybody else for vice?
If you're here all the time, I don't have to worry.
Two of you? All right, so we have two people interested.
Oh, no.
So they vote.
Is it a vote?
Yeah, just have to vote.
So raise a hand for both for one or the other.
Yeah.
All right, so we have
For
two.
both?
What's that?
You vote for both?
Vote for one. All right, so I'll start with Tom. All in favor of Tom as vice chair, raise your hand.
I'll vote for you, Tom.
Both
Been here
for
longer.
Tom.
Well, you've been here longer, so I feel like that's fair. Vote for Tom. Vote for Tom.
All right, so Tom will be our vice chair. That was easy.
Vote for you. I'm easy, thank you.
Okay, and then the second position, secretary, which is one I've had for, I already talked that one. Anybody want to raise their hand for secretary? And one for Tracy.
Oh, no, I'm going with Tracy.
Okay, all those in favor of Tracy as secretary? That was easy. I didn't think that'd be so easy. That would be super easy. All right, so now we have that documented, right?
Yes, thank you.
Vice chair and that's it. Playground replacements located in the Park West.
Yes. Good evening again. So this is an item for the playground replacement at Independence Park West, which was built in 2003. The reason for the pictures is what's currently there now. As you can see, we use what's called fiber, better known for wood chips, for safety for the kiddos, bounce off the if they fall or whatever. And one of the things I want to point out for this particular playground that most, if not all of the components to the playground are obsolete. So it would make repairs very difficult for us if one of them should be damaged. Here's another picture there. And so the reason for this presentation is to get some recommendation on, I narrowed it down to 2 types of playgrounds and for a recommendation to council in the future. This is Exhibit A, it's from Game Time. Exhibit A is an ADA accessible playground. It's kind of similar, I don't know if you visited the one at Harmony Park, the newest one that's out there now, similar to that one. The good thing about the Independence Park West, as you can see at the previous slide, it has a shade structure already, so we don't need to spend any funds on that. And this particular playground also would come with pour in place, which is a rubber surface for the kiddos and for easier wheelchair accessibility. There's the opposite side of the same playground from Game Time. And just so you know, this particular playground costs approximately $176,000. It does have a potential grant of approximately $42,000, which would leave the balance to $134,000.
And how many kids does that facilitate?
I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that there's approximately 40 playable features on it that kids can enjoy. But I can email you that information if you like.
It seems kind of pricey, but maybe it's bigger.
Yeah, will the footprint of the playground be expanded over the current one, Tony?
No, this is approximately 2,900 square feet.
How does that relate to the one at Harmony Park?
As far as the size of it,
Just overall size.
it's about the same size. It is about the same size. And the one at Harmony Park, if I'm not mistaken, did cost approximately $150,000.
When it was done.
Inflation, it's been several years, so just wanted to point that out.
The other thing is when some kids are playing baseball or maybe playing tennis lessons, the little ones are all over here.
Right, that's correct. That's correct.
The usage kind of peak, it's spiky.
Yes, sir.
Long
Absolutely. This is from Playground Solutions, Exhibit B, a little bit different setup there. It also has approximately 40 features for the kids to play on. It also is ADA accessible for wheelchairs and doesn't have the ramp over to the right, if you can see right around here. And it will tie into our existing ramp there that we have currently, so it makes perfect sense for us to leave that ramp there. This is the opposite side of that particular playground. As you can see, there is a child there with a wheelchair, so it does have the ADA accessibility as well, as you can see. So this particular model costs approximately $149,000. So, and it does also include the rubber surface. It's called a pour in place. And to give you a better visual, this is an aerial view drawing of what it would look like. I know it's a little bit difficult to see there, but all the font there and the letters just represents the features, the play features that come with it. This is our existing ramp here, our concrete ramp, and they would tie it together so a child in a wheelchair can have easy access to it. So
Minor point, I'm assuming they don't require that dark blue color on the, and doesn't work so on July. Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I agree that there's a oodles of different
Nice
colors that we can
Oh, I
pick.
like it, it's Bocce blue.
Yeah, well, you won't be able to tell if it's dirty or not, right? That's a little bit easier, so. A little
Now,
less
is that a
maintenance
flat
removed.
surface?
I'm sorry?
Well, as the blue part, is that a flat surface or is it
Is it a black surface?
flat?
Flat,
Or
yes
is
ma'am,
it
yes.
pebbly?
Yes, it's identical to the one that, the large playground at Harmony Park. And it's a rubbery surface, you can almost bounce on it.
Good, 'cause I hate those
So
wood
it's-
chips.
And this is, we don't have to pick these colors or anything, I don't know if you've been to Harmony, but over at Harmony Park, we have these identical colors there and they worked great. And blended just fine with our shade structure. And we picked a similar color to our rubber surface as well. It's a darker greenish with some tan in there, a little bit mixed together. So the overall project will take approximately 8 to 10 weeks to build. Once the supplies come in, it takes a total of 2 weeks to install. So, and that's included in the 10 weeks.
Did the second price, was that before, and the one went from 170 to 134, is 149?
The potential grant.
That's the potential grant, the first one, this one here.
So the second one doesn't come with the grant?
That one comes with the grant, the second one does not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is crazy, but when did we get this pricing on these? How long ago?
These two are approximately 2 weeks old.
Okay, that's pretty good. And the reason why I mentioned that is, you guys been to Home Depot lately?
Oh, yeah, everything's going up.
I do, no, 2x4 stud was $8 a month ago, and now they're $3.
Seriously?
So supply chain, all
Yep.
that stuff, and I didn't know if these guys gave you the whole supply chain, we can't get stuff, maybe they would be worth another phone call or one less.
Yeah, and I can talk to them, but please keep in mind, the playground that we did replace at Harmony Park was approximately almost about the same price that these
It
are.
may be $1,000, but $1,000,
Yeah.
$1,000.
No, for sure, it's worth a call, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tony, do you have a preference?
I do. I like Exhibit A. I do. I think it's a little bit larger. It's the same company that we use for Harmony Park, and for consistency purposes, I would select this one.
Is there a decent slide on that thing? It looks kind of boring.
I believe so.
I had a little boy I raised in Trophy Club.
There's one right there. There's two actually.
3.
Three.
So could we get that in the Bobcat blue? And the only reason I say that is because it's right in the middle of our school.
And
And if we're gonna promote as come to our town, come to our school, it would be really cool if we were consistent with our school colors.
I can take it for recommendation to council. It'll take a vote from you all first.
I believe Bobcat blue.
Well, I know you do, but Trophy Club isn't for blue. I would want to be more consistent with what's already in the town versus changing all the colors around, right? Just as my thought. I mean, they already have one that's that color now, right?
We do.
And we could put a
What
plaque
color
or
is the
signage
shade
in front of it
structure?
saying-
At this location, it's blue.
It is blue.
Yeah.
Ha!
We could put a welcome to, that would be our town or school colors in front of it.
So I speak to this maintenance of it. Which is easier to maintain, a brown one or a blue one? Color fading, ugly, dirty?
Well, there's a little bit of history, let me remind you, maybe Councilmember Lamont remembers, but our direction several years ago was to change all our blue shade structures to the tan with the green posts from council. So the reason this is still blue is because it's still in good shape. We don't want to just spend the money just to change the colors out. But once this is damaged or it's time to replace, we'd be changing those over too.
Yeah, you don't know this, but there was a lot of debate about that. I think we all agree these were the colors. I think that's what resonates in my brain. It'd be a lot easier to get by council if it comes at this color than blue.
Hey, it's my first day on the job.
So we just need to vote on suggesting that council goes with Exhibit A. We just need to put one in front of council, not two.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, yes, that's correct.
All right. So I have a motion.
Can I see Exhibit B again, please, Tony?
I'm sorry?
May I see Exhibit B again, please?
Yes.
Which one's got the cooler stuff? And this comes in the color package that we have all agreed is better than Bobcat Blue?
Yeah. Yeah, so if you can tell, I'm sorry for going back and forth, so for this,
No, you're fine.
for instance, this guy right here, you notice it, follow my mouse, these ground features. I don't believe this one has any ground features separate from the playground itself, you see.
And is that one wheelchair accessible? Okay, I
Yes.
see the ramp, okay. Is it bigger? Did you say that one's bigger?
This one's slightly bigger, not a whole lot, but it's slightly bigger.
Like 5 kids worth of bigger, or what are we talking? No?
It'd be a guess, I don't know, I'm sorry.
Exhibit A looks exceedingly
This-
similar to what we already have at Harmony Park. I just played Monster there 2 weeks ago. They did a good job.
They're different audiences though. And it's
Well-
different neighborhoods. Yep. And if they're remarkably the same, there's literally different people go to different parks. I've never, in 17 years living here, driven over to Harmony Park to play, but I'm all over Indy East and Indy West. That's right.
Sure, yeah.
Now, there's no action for this item on number 5.
Oh, there's
No, there's no action, but
All right.
still definitely tell me,
All right, good,
Yeah.
fair enough, that we don't.
Do we need to pass a motion or anything?
no.
No, we don't. That's good, it's not an emotional item. All right, good. But I think we all agree, the easier sell to council would be one, the color they like, because it just will spin it out. If it's already a color, we already could say we already have one like that, then we have a whole new color.
It's fine, I can leave my mouth.
But Bobcat Blue turns into light blue after about 5 or 6 years. It's not Bobcat Blue no more. It's powder blue or something.
Well, and I do understand that that is not desirable.
Okay.
I would assume that that stuff is fade proof, but
I don't know. That's the guys that gotta take care of it. Hell no.
Being out there in the sun really takes a toll on something that, like that.
I can stand down. I just have to go. It's all
So
good.
if we're just discussing, we all kind of like A,
Correct.
we all kind of like tan.
We're okay with your recommendation, Tony.
Okay.
It's a good one.
If you have any other questions, that concludes this presentation.
All right.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
So before we adjourn, I do want to mention, I would like to discuss how often we meet as a park board.
Every 2 days?
As much as I love your enthusiasm. Historically, because the town's doing such a great, this is one of those things, because the town's doing such a great job, we don't have all these burning issues out there. We come to these meetings with very few things to talk about, and staff, while we're volunteers or not, I would think that we should meet every other month, or as needed if something would come up. Some correspondence would come out to all of us, and we would have a meeting in an off month, or even twice a month if it's something really burning, right? So, is that something we need to vote on?
You
The
can
dog
as-
contest, that's burning right now. It's burning.
Oh, it's burning.
Yes, because that,
We can put that
yes,
together.
you can vote on that.
Okay, so I need a motion from somebody.
Motion, we meet on a standing basis every other month on an as-needed basis when required.
Have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we need to figure out when we're gonna meet again. So if we're gonna do every other month, then we're looking at
November.
November.
That is the week of Thanksgiving. So,
Oh,
we could do a week forward.
what's the calendar look like for November? When can we meet?
Council will probably be moving to the 11th, more than likely, from the 8th. So just keep that in mind, that's moving to a Thursday that 1 week, so we can canvass votes.
Oh, let's
After
do
the
that.
election can be November 2nd.
I like that idea. So just for November only, let's meet on a Thursday versus
Oh, and I'm saying council.
no, I meant your meeting, I meant your meeting on a Thursday instead of your normal Monday.
That's correct.
So we could have that Monday.
Yes, sir.
You guys like that, the 8th?
Lemonade?
All right, so we'll meet on November 8th as our next meeting. Unless some super dog contest comes up before then, we don't get to get together.
I went on that list.
I think though the town will love to see us out there for Pet Fest, correct?
We'd love to see all of
Be a fun thing there and meet the people. It should be a pretty good deal. I noticed that's one thing they did get together and come out for Pet Fest.
We do, would like to request for at least 2 park board members to help us with the Parks and Recreation tent, and that'd be just to hand out some promotional items that we usually give out, and some maps of the town and whatnot. So we have some various things that we need to give out to our citizens. So if I can count on 2 people, that'd be great. No more than 3.
Throwing it out there, no.
You
Well,
can't be
I'm-
talking about pet content and we're not going there.
Well, we talked 2022, correct, Sumner? Yes. I will be in Colorado.
Okay.
Wow.
You can email us later. You don't have to decide now.
All right, I will be there for you.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would be there.
They need fun
Yes.
too.
I'm not going to be at the clown. Although, there's probably those that think I already am. Big comment. All right, so unless we have anything else.
I got one.
Oh, I'm sorry. He does.
Yeah, I've become known as the pickleball court advocate for Village for whatever reason. I want to go on record as saying I think we're kicking the can down the road here. One, if the middle school puts in tennis courts, it's not going to affect the pickleball usage. The right after school crowd, the horde that comes from the middle school now will be lesser, but it won't have any impact on the pickleball. Meanwhile, we're looking at about 2 years of increased, since it's the fastest growing sport in America, pickleball continuing on, especially since those courts won't be marked. So I guess I'm hoping that in the master plan, long-range strategic plan, we do accommodate that need for the town. Eventually, we might also need cricket courts, but that's a whole different topic there. But we're kicking the can there. We're going to need them.
Right.
No, we're going to need them.
Well, our intention is not to kick the can. I assure you that. We are going to exhaust every option we have before we make a decision of that gratitude. We are going to install some cameras at Harmony Park and Independence Park West for a good month, maybe 6 weeks, depending on again, only because we want to see the traffic. And we get word that, maybe there's more folks out there than what they should be. Maybe there's folks out there that are asking folks to leave and whatnot. So that's the intention of the cameras as well. So we'll make an assessment again, and hopefully I'm thinking we can bring this more news to you by the November 8th meeting.
Any feedback from the church? I understand you asked them about the possibility of acquiring land, that one diagonally across from. Just wonder if they got back with any kind of.
No, they're actually building soccer fields out there on that property, so.
I'm shocked.
All right, if we have nothing else, I
Should we go ahead and set dates for 2022 for the meetings every other month? Or no?
I don't know if we can accomplish that today,
Okay.
but we should probably.
Well, that's actually a good point. In years
Keep going.
past, well, we would skip, for instance, we probably would skip December and January, obviously, for the holidays. And
Right.
we would meet again in February. You don't have to decide that today. We can do that in November since we're meeting then. So, but
That's the
people travel different dates. Those are the most popular holidays of the year.
I guess I only say that, let's see how this bi-monthly thing works for 2 months before we start setting our whole schedule, and I gotta undo the whole thing.
So,
Right?
There you go.
November, we can say, hey, this works,
or there's a new variant.
Under master of calendaring.
well, and then we need to figure out what that every other month,
yeah.
based on what's happening, would look like. It might be 2 in a row to get onto a certain schedule of every other month.
Yeah, exactly.